In an effort to keep you as well informed as possible on the current status of our city's response to the COVID-19 virus and the conditions of our city, I'll be giving you some quick updates from time to time. In this update, I'll share with you our current statewide and local infection data, updates regarding our city's measures to address this virus, and some other helpful information for Lawrence businesses. As of Friday afternoon, March 27th, 2020, the South Carolina Department of Health and Environmental Control is reporting 539 infections, 86 new cases from yesterday, 10 deaths, and this latest death was the first reported from the upstate. And there are still no confirmed infections in Lawrence County. We have anecdotal evidence of possible, if not probable, infections in Lawrence County, but we have no confirmed cases as of the recording of this message. Reports that there are no cases of coronavirus in Lawrence County are somewhat misleading. Of the limited testing which has occurred, there are no tests confirming the presence of the virus here yet, due to a variety of reasons. But that doesn't mean that no one in Lawrence has been infected with this virus. We just can't say that. However, from state officials at DHEC to county leaders and every medical professional with whom I've spoken, they all recognize the question is not if, but when. So why haven't we seen any positive testing in Lawrence? Well, we learned from DHEC yesterday that there is a significant backlog of tests that have not been processed. This backlog is due to a statewide shortage in the supply of the reagent needed to process these tests. Dr. Linda Bell alluded to this issue at the governor's press conference yesterday afternoon. This is not just a South Carolina problem, it's a nationwide issue, and we're experiencing it here. When that supply is replenished and the backlog of tests is cleared, we do anticipate a significant increase in the number of infections statewide. Current DHEC models project that by April 4th, we should expect more than 1,500 infections statewide. That's more than 1,000 additional cases than we have currently confirmed. These figures are publicly available through the DHEC COVID-19 website. As the Surgeon General of the United States, Jerome Adams, told us, we knew this week would be bad, and we are still on the upward curve of infection. We anticipated this. So when you see new numbers come in, which may be dramatically higher than what we've seen until now, don't panic. I know it could be distressing to see Lawrence County jump from having 0 cases to a higher number, whatever that number may be, but I'm sharing this information with you so that you expect that. You know why it is that way, and you can take that information in stride. However, when we do receive our first reported case or cases, we do ask that you take that seriously. The steeper the curve of infection, the harder it will be for our healthcare system to treat all the patients who need treatment. So, every one of us must do our part to prevent the spread of infection. If you can stay home, stay at home. If you must go out, please stay at least 6 feet from others. Take every precaution you can to wash your hands and do it thoroughly. Use hand sanitizer if you have it. Don't intermingle with people from other households. And since those carrying the virus may not show symptoms for 1 to 2 weeks after infection, as Governor McMaster told us this week, assume that you are infected and assume that everyone that you meet is infected. If we think of our interactions with others in that way, we won't engage in the sort of dangerous behaviors that lead to infection. Everyone must do his or her part. Now, the City of Lawrence and its response to the COVID-19 virus. The city will not be issuing any sort of shelter-in-place order. An opinion from the Attorney General of the state of South Carolina clarified that because the governor of the state of South Carolina has declared a state of emergency and exercised certain executive authority, cities and counties across the state are preempted from issuing such orders. Now, it was my belief that we should defer to the governor's authority regarding any shelter-in-place order anyway, and so the Attorney General's opinion has not changed or affected any plans for this city. Lawrence County has received additional materials today from the National Stockpile. So these supplies are being distributed now to first responders and healthcare facilities across the county. We're grateful for those additional supplies. Our law enforcement officers and firefighters have been coordinating with other agencies across the county to identify needs and strategies to address those needs. We're also working to make sure that we keep our officers safe. I've spoken with our state's leaders within various agencies, including DHEC, to make sure that our first responder tests are given priority so that we do not risk widespread infection of either our police or firefighters or the members of the public with whom they interact. All city parks are now closed. We regretted having to take this action, but we encountered individuals who weren't following the governor's mandate to limit public gatherings to 3 people or less, and who continued to engage in group sports involving close personal contact. So, sadly, we are forced to take this step to prevent the spread of infection. And finally, a little helpful information for businesses. We think that this will be helpful not only for businesses, but for every Laurens resident. Many businesses have been disrupted by this current crisis, but many are doing a great job of adapting to the current crisis. However, sometimes it can be tough for a small business to get a handle on marketing and getting the word out about new hours or modified operations or new delivery services as they work to implement all those changes. So we wanted to do our part as a city to help every business that wants help. So we've developed a COVID-19 page on the city's website. You can find that at cityoflaurensSC.com. And residents can visit this page for official updates from the city, messages from the mayor, like this one, and helpful links from official sources like DHEC and CDC. But we also want this page to be the one-stop spot for every resident to be able to see what restaurants, retailers, and service businesses are doing to adapt to the current situation. Right now on that page, every local business owner can find a link to a PDF form which you can fill out, save, and email back to us with information which we can then share with the public. Rather than folks having to chase you down to figure out what new hours you may have or if you're delivering and if so when, once we receive these forms back from business owners, we'll have a one-stop directory for every restaurant, retailer, and service business in Laurens that wants to be listed. Business owners get the word out about how they're adapting, and the public has one place to go where they can find menus, specials, and learn about the modified operations of our local businesses. We're doing this free of charge. It's just one thing that we can do as a city government to make sure we protect both health and commerce as we all work together to get through this challenge. That's all for now. Until you hear from me again, stay safe. Practice good hygiene and social distancing, support local businesses, and most importantly, love your neighbor. Let's look out for one another. Thank you.